we live in a world right now that it's full of opportunities for distractions. And many have been seeking distractions for like 6 weeks now. You know, something to make the days pass, especially for those who haven't been able to work at home. And you've repainted all the rooms and you've done your spring cleaning and all those other things that you do. You've watched all the shows and the movies on Netflix, and you need a distraction. So I want to ask you, what have you been listening to lately? And I know we see things, but I'm more about talking about what you've been listening to, not just with your ears, but with your mind. Have you been listening to something like this?
Facing an incredibly contagious and dangerous virus that is moving across the world from one hotspot to another.
Like this going through your mind.
I can't stand it. I'll leave this. I'm so polite. People don't respect me. They don't listen to me. They don't appreciate what I do.
We get caught up in this whirling dervish anyway of life, and even more so now, especially as the weeks have gone on. And in most states, not all states, you know, we're still in a quasi-semi, pretty much stay-at-home situation. And we get away from the practice of listening to the true voice, not to that noise that I was playing or some version of that, but the true voice, the voice of spirit, the voice in our heart. And, you know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about this today because I was having a little bit of this for myself this week, that we keep looking for distractions to escape the silence. But what we really should be doing is attracting the wisdom that is in the silence. You might have heard this piece: in the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. Do you remember the first sounds you heard? You may not remember them really. You may think you remember them. You could probably give me, oh yeah, I remember laughter. I remember, you know, my parents played this or that kind of music. You might remember those things when you were 5, or some people even remember things when they were 3-year-old. But in actuality, it was more something like this. That's the sound, the very first sound that you heard. That was, of course, the sound of the inside of the womb. It's one of the first acoustic stimuli, I guess, because there were multiple sounds that you heard. Started about the time you were 15 weeks old. And, of course, that was the sound of not only you floating in the womb there, but the sound of your mother's heartbeat, the sound of her breathing. Eventually, maybe the sound of your own heartbeat was added into that. But as fetuses, we have a great capacity for auditory learning and memory. And that memory sticks with us. You might have felt a very sudden rush of calmness because that was your first idea of what is calm, of what is grateful, of what is peaceful. The heartbeat, the voice of the heart, is primal. It's initial. It's the first thing. It's the empowering center of the intuition that comes from the belly, goes into the heart to be enacted. It's the power of feeling that we use to manifest. It's always there to speak and guide and impart itself to, through, and as us, this power of the heart. Not just through its sound, but through its power, its electromagnetic power as it beats, as ours beats in our body. When we listen and pay attention to it, we can hear the call of spirit, the call of the divine, the call of the wild, you might say, the wild universe, the guidance and the wisdom of the universe. Ernest Holmes wrote in the Declaration of Principles, "We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God." And where is that close contact with the indwelling God? Yeah, some of it is here in what we believe is mind, but that's really our brain. Mind is the divine matrix, the combination, the integration of the brain, the heart, and the gut. That is where mind lives. That is where the divine lives. That is where that intuitive and spiritual nature, the revealer of truth, lives. The heart, our neuro, bio, electrical, chemical, mechanical organ, communicates with the body, with the brain and the body, and does that in 4 different ways. One is neurological, through the nervous system. One is biochemical, through the hormones. It informs the hormones to secrete themselves. One is biophysical, through the pulse waves of the sound that it makes, and energetically through the electromagnetic fields that emanate from it. It's happening right now. If you listen closely for a few moments, you may hear your heart. The heart is the wisdom, the seat of wisdom for the Jews. It is the hub of the universe for the Hindus. It's the throne of God for the Sufis. It's the fundamental quality in Buddhism. The essence of being human is the heart for those who are following Confucius. And it's where the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of divine, the kingdom of the mother in Christianity. Mother Teresa wrote, "God speaks in the silence of the heart. Listening is the beginning of the prayer." Heather sang about the prayer, my prayer. Where is my prayer? The prayer, yes, may be mental, may be logical, may be intellectual, comes out in words, both in mouth and in brain, and then, of course, in mind. But the feelings which energize it comes from the heart. The Upanishads speak of something called the Hridaya Guha, the cave of the heart in which the supreme reality resides. In the 8th chapter of the Upanishads, it reads, "Go into the cave, and you will find the treasures of heaven. The sun and the moon and the stars, the very space and the clouds and the lightning and the rains, all this miracle of creation is within the heart. When it rains outside, it rains inside also, and the stellar regions shine resplendently within the heart. Heart is where the purest form of our divine power resides. Now, most of us have that brain head thing down, you know, the logic and the intellect and the synapses are snapping and the amygdala and everybody and everything, all the different parts are doing their things. The electrochemical workings of the brain are happening. It's easy to speak the intelligent and wise words of I declare this in my life, or I reveal this in my life. And some of us, most of us, have the gut thing going down, the gut stuff. And we all do at one time or another. The intuition, you know, the gut feeling, the imagination is going on. It's being fed in there. And it's a direct infusion from the creative power in the universe. We know through our imagination and through the intuition what things, what our idea that we want to manifest looks like, what it smells like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. We use that imagination to create the feeling, to enhance the feeling so that we can manifest that into our experience. But the heart is the main connection, the one that really, really energizes our life, our world. It's where the feelings lie. It's the home of the as if, really. It's the home of the as if experience of it, the as if emotion felt in having it and experiencing it right now. It's the home of the as if of the gratitude of having it right here, right now, because we know it's manifested. We see it, we feel it, we taste it, we touch it. The heart is the regulator of our perceptions in life. Yes, the intellect comes in there. The logic, the learning, the knowledge comes in there. But the heart is what creates the energetic magnetic field that tells our brains to feel that perception, to see that idea in life through that perception. Tells our brains to feel safe or to not feel safe, actually, either way. Because in the heart there are over 40,000 sensory neurites or cells that are firing off. And those are independent of the neurons and synapses firing in our brains. Independent, 47 plus thousand of them doing their thing and forming the body in all those ways that I was talking about before. Listen to your breath in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This signals your body to release, to let go. Frees you from any stresses and opens your body to healing. And now with your hand still on your heart, I want you to think or imagine someone or something that you care about. Something you appreciate, or maybe something you have gratitude or compassion for. And I want you to allow yourself to feel that appreciation, feel that gratitude, feel that compassion. As you feel your heart beat under your hand, as you hear the sound of my voice and the breath, the slow breathing. Appreciate that person, that community, that something you received, that insight you had. appreciate, have gratitude, or compassion. Words cannot express, the tongue cannot tell the sweet song of the silence, forever singing in my heart. For only the heart knows the songs which were never sung, the music which was never written. I have heard that great harmony and felt that great presence. I have listened to the silence, and in the deep places of life I have stood naked and receptive to thy songs, and they have entered my soul. I am lost in the mighty depths of thy inner calm and peace. That is from the Science of Mind book. The Science of Mind and Spirit. Take a deep breath with me with your hand on your heart, knowing as you inhale, God is. And as you exhale, I am. Once again, God is, the Divine Mother is, and we exhale, I am. Go ahead and slowly open your eyes. You know, this is an ancient and very primal practice, this short, heart-centered, heartfelt spiritual practice that took maybe less than 5 minutes. Something you can do many times during the day to step back into the heart. It's easy, it's powerful. It consciously connects us to all three brains at the same time. The imagination, the intuition from the gut, the feelings, intelligence of the heart, of course, and the logic of the brain. All that mind, all that divine matrix, communing with each other, connecting to each other, harmonizing with each other so that we, from that moment on, can make optimal decisions and creative discoveries and learn and transcend anything, bust through, soar and zoom, bring in, download the greatest expression and intellect and wisdom. It gives us, using this easy spiritual practice, it adds to our resilience to be above that noise that you heard earlier. And everything else that changes so often. It inspires us to transform our perception of what's going on now, our perception of what's going to go on later, and when is that going to happen. It transforms that perception to a calm knowing. Even if intellectually we don't know the specifics, there's a calm knowing that it's going to show up. Whatever that idea, that perception needs to be, it's going to show up. And we can exchange that chaos to cosmos, that helter-skelter feeling to a harmonious feeling, because we know we are releasing through this heartfelt work, this heart meditation, over 1,300 biochemical reactions, and these promote immunity and slows down the aging process, actually, just in those few minutes. Proverbs 23:7 says, and James Allen wrote an entire book about it, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a woman thinketh in her heart, so is she. I invite you to step into that still point that we stepped into just for a few minutes during this talk. It's a sweet spot where we quiet our mind just for a few minutes and listen to the heart. It uplifts us. It's a primal rhythm of life that takes us back to step one, who we are. It's that sweet song of the universe singing just for ourselves, just for you, just for me, revealing its wisdom and taking us to a next step. That's a beautiful, perfect way to bust through Soar and Zoom when things are getting crazy, when you're bored, when you don't know what to do and confused, when the noise just seems so overwhelming. To find that place in just those few minutes. I want to take this moment to thank all of those who have given birth to and or nurtured another human life, whether male or female. Today we honor the female. But any of you, I'm grateful for the work you have done, the mothers, the first responders, the medical community, those who are teaching our children, those who are assuring and looking over our safety. I want to thank you for your mothering nature at this time and at all times. I'm grateful to the continuity and the rhythm of life itself, to the universal mother that surrounds us, that is within each and every one of us. I'm grateful for the divine wisdom that is here, working through me, working through you as you, ever present and ever available to us, to me, to you, to the universe, to our world here on the earth, to the Mother Gaia who supports us on this very planet. I'm grateful for that inner voice that never leads me astray. Because I know and I can tell the difference between the true inner voice and that ego thing where I'm ignoring the inner voice and just kind of doing the baby cry, the infant cry, the frustration of not knowing what to do. I know the difference. I can feel the difference. And I want to thank that inner voice for speaking to me, especially when I'm in that moment where I can't or won't allow myself to feel that difference. Still your mind, my friends, and open your heart and listen to the divine universal mother that is within you. We all have it. It has nothing to do with our biological mother. It has to do with that divine mother that is there in the universe surrounding us, energetically bringing grace and love and healing into our lives from within. Tap into that, still your mind, and find that, and bring it on. Bring it online at all times. And to it, wish it a very happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much. Namaste. So,